Text lang siya. Giloy ka lang. Giloy lang.
So let's start today's class. In the last class, we talked about valuation. So these all things we have already discussed. Now we will talk about import procedure. So import procedure is basically page number. So page number, last time I told you, I think, page number 61 we have completed. So it must be around page number 62. So just 1 minute. I'll tell you the exact page number. Yeah, so the page number, as per the book page number, it is 61. So page number 61, import procedures. So basically, we will talk about how import is done. What is the actual procedure to import anything from any country? So that procedure is described here. So first thing that comes in the import procedure is import manifest or import report. So what is that? Whenever any goods arrives at India, maybe at the port or maybe at the airport or maybe by road. So whenever something is imported and arrives at India, then the person who is driving the vehicle, the vessel, the aeroplane, that person has the duty to report to the import authorities that these things has come in my aeroplane, in my vessel, or in my vehicle, that these are the things that I have brought from so and so country. So who would file that report? The person in charge of conveyance. So the person in charge of conveyance, while arriving at the port, airport, or maybe the that place of import, then the person in charge of conveyance will file import manifest, or it is also called import report. So who is the person in charge? In the case of vessel, the master of the vessel. In the case of aircraft, the commander or the pilot in charge of the aircraft. In case of train, the conductor or guard. In case of vehicle or any other conveyance, the driver or the other person in charge will file this import manifest, import report to the custom authorities. Once the custom authorities gets that import report, based on the information with them, or based on the particular submitted, they grant entry inward. It's kind of, they permit the vehicle into India. Okay, you have brought correct goods, you have right to enter into India. So they grant entry inward. So entry inward will be granted by the custom officer. Only when, now very important point, only when berthing accommodation is granted to vessel. See, it's not just that you can bring anything. It's okay. You can bring anything subject to confirmation from custom officers, but there should be space. If you are if you are driving an aircraft, there should be space on the runway, on the airport to land the vehicle. There should be space at the port to park the vessel. There should be space at the stand or somewhere to park the train or vehicle. So that place, that space specifically assigned for that vehicle, aircraft, train or vessel is called berthing accommodation. So only when berthing accommodation is granted to vehicle, then only custom officer will give a grant of entry inwards. And definitely this is not required in case of baggage, mail bags, animals, perishable goods, and hazardous goods. So when you are bringing your bag with you from Dubai, you need not file import manifest. Only the person in charge of conveyance will file it, and you don't need a grant of entry inwards. You can bring this baggage into India or not. You can definitely bring. Then what is the next thing would happen? Unloading. So after import manifest is filed, entry inward is granted. After that, unloading of goods would happen at the port or airport or the place. So by a vessel, aircraft or vehicle, the goods will be unloaded at the place specified. After that, so once the goods are unloaded, entry inward is received, import manifest is filed, everything is done. Then the person who has actually imported the goods will file bill of entry, because the goods have arrived and it is informed by the vessel or by the respective person that Mr. X has imported the goods. So it would be informed to Mr. X directly by the vessel or by the person who has exported the goods that your goods have arrived in India. Just go and collect your goods. So what that importer, the person who is sitting in India and has imported something from Dubai, what that person will do, he will file bill of entry for home consumption to clear that goods. And how he will file? He will file it online and pay the required custom duty on that. So it's an electronic submission by the importer giving details of goods imported. Sir, I have imported those, and those goods which have arrived at your port. That is already unloaded. Bill of grant of entry invoice is granted by you. Import manifest is received by you from the vessel master. That is my goods. Give it to me. So how I will inform to import authorities? I will inform by way of bill of entry for home consumption. And along with relevant documentary evidence. It's not that I'll say this is my goods and they will give. I have to produce the copy of bill that this is the bill of this goods. This belongs to me. They will match the bill with the bill received along with the vessel. And then only they will give you that goods. And then definitely it's an import. I have to pay the custom duty, import duty applicable on the goods. So goods can be cleared only after payment of duty. There is one more bill of entry which can be filed by me for warehousing. Suppose I don't want to bring the goods to my home, to my factory, to my location, because for any reason, there might be so many reasons I don't want to bring it to my factory now. I will clear it later on. No problem. But you cannot leave the goods on the port. It cannot, you cannot fill the airport with your goods. You have to get it clear. What do you have to do? You have to clear it to the warehouse so that it can be stored until you clear it for the home consumption. So you may clear it for warehousing. It can be submitted if immediately not required for home consumption without payment of duty. That is the beauty of it. You have no money in your pocket to pay the duty, no problem. Clear it to warehousing. You have to pay the warehouse charges. It's not that it's free. You have to pay the warehouse charges, but you can clear it to warehouse. But you need not pay the duty. But when you clear it from warehouse to your home consumption, you have to pay the duty. So duty will be payable when cleared for home consumption by filing again bill of entry for home consumption. So this is the two processes. Either you can clear for home consumption or you can clear for warehousing. In the case of bill of entry that you are filing, how much custom duty, import duty will not need to be paid? You will do your self-assessment. No one is there sitting every time to assess you. You calculate your duty, you submit your bill of entry. In the bill of entry, you have to comply with the CCR, compulsory compliance requirement. So there are some requirements like you have to submit the bills copy, you have to submit the payment of duty evidence, you have to submit the evidence of shipping that you have the document for shipping bill, everything you have to submit. You have to submit documents as per the checklist like invoice, contract, packing list, other relevant documents. Then you have to submit how you have valued your goods. Your value of goods is say 1 crore and your duty calculation is also submitted. So on the self-assessment basis, you can calculate your own duty. Suppose you think your duty payable is 10%. Okay, no problem. You write it, you submit it. Then verification is selective basis by custom officer. The custom officer can verify your bill of entry on selective basis. That means not all the bill of entries will be verified, only few will be verified. In case no verification is done by custom officer, because I told only selective bill of entries will be checked. So what about remaining? Remaining will also be checked, but after clearance of goods. You filed your bill of entry, no one checked it, you got your goods to your home, then they are auditing your bill of entry, whether you filed the bill of entry correct or not. If not correct, what will happen? If not correct, they will ask for the differential duty. We talked about it in the bill of entry part in the last class. So if no verification is done, post audit will be done and they can demand for the differential duty. Demurrage. You cannot leave goods on airport. You cannot leave goods on the port. You have to clear it. So demurrage charges are the charges. If you keep the goods on the airport itself, you're not filing bill of entry for home consumption. You're not filing bill of entry for warehouse. You are not at all filing your goods. You are even not contacting custom authority. You are sitting and sleeping. Don't worry, custom will charge you demurrage charges. You have filled their airport with your goods. You have to pay the rent. That is known as demurrage charges. So it's payable if goods are not clear within free time. What is free time? It's generally 3 to 5 working days, depending on the goods. So if you don't clear your goods in 3 to 5 working days, you have to pay the demurrage charges per day per hour. If bill of entry is not filed within 30 days, custodian, now just think, it's not just 3 to 5 days. In 3 to 5 days, demurrage charges will start. In 30 days, if you don't take your goods, you don't collect your goods, in 30 days, custodian will sell the goods. Goods after getting permission from customs. So they will inform the custom department, this Mr. X is not getting his goods, not collecting his goods. Can we sell it? They will sell your goods and they will enjoy it. You do whatever you want. Now, export procedure. So now we will talk about export procedure. So, as like import, bill of entry was filed in import. In the case of export, bill of export or shipping bill will be filed. In case of port, shipping bill will be filed. In case of airport or any other means, bill of export will be filed. Again, it is submitted electronically. In case of sea or air, shipping will be filed. In case of road, bill of export will be filed. It's required even if no tax is payable. Don't think that no tax on export. No, even if there is no tax on export, you have to file shipping bill or bill of export. Again, you have to do self-assessment. If duty is payable, you have to do the self-assessment. Verification on selective basis. If selected, then goods and documents are checked and then only it will be allowed to clear. So whenever you are taking goods from India to Dubai, your goods will be checked on selective basis and then only clearance will be granted. You have to file shipping bill or bill of export. If not selected, goods will be cleared and post audit will be done. Just like import, if they don't check your goods, it's okay. You can take your goods, but they will check your bill of export, shipping bill, everything. There are export incentives. So whenever you are exporting, government gives so many incentives in form of exempting the duty, refunding the duty. So relevant documents will be checked and verified whether you have actually exported the goods and foreign currency has come to India in your account. So these things will be checked and certified. And then the custom authorities will give proof of export in ARE1 that you have actually exported the goods. That proof will be sufficient to take the refund from the custom department. So this is the export procedure. Okay. Now we will talk about baggage. Yeah. So what is baggage? What is definition of baggage? In general, I told you earlier as well, there are inclusive, exclusive and exhaustive definitions. This baggage definition is inclusive. That means whatever you know, whatever I know is baggage. What you don't know is not baggage. But what we will tell, this is also baggage. So what you know, I know, what dictionary know is baggage. Apart from that, baggage also include this. So what is included in baggage? So cases or bags used to carry passenger belongings. You are coming from Dubai to India. You are carrying a bag that is known as baggage. So cases or bags used to carry passenger belongings. If you are not coming to India, you are just sending the goods. That's not baggage. That's an import. That's a normal goods. But if you're coming with the goods, that's baggage because you are bringing goods in your head. All dutiable articles imported by passenger or crew. Any passenger, any crew member of the aircraft or vessel, if they bring any dutiable article with them, that is baggage. Unaccompanied baggage. Suppose specified period is there depending on country to country. Suppose you came from Dubai today. You did you played with custom department. What you did? You purchased one iPhone from Dubai. If you bring your iPhone with you, you can be checked by custom authorities. So what you did? Just one day before you come to India, you ask that shopkeeper to courier that goods, that iPhone from Dubai to India to your address. He said, okay, I know, I have no problem, I'll courier it. That is also baggage. So whatever you bring with you is baggage. Whatever you don't bring with you, but it came just before or after you came to India. Suppose you ask that shopkeeper, I'm paying you money, you courier it tomorrow. I'm going to India today, you courier it to me after 5 days. That is also baggage. So that will be also counted as baggage and all the baggage rules will be applied. So that is known as unaccompanied baggage. It does not include motor vehicle, alcoholic drinks, goods imported through courier, articles imported under import license for his own use or own behalf of others. Now just think about one thing. These are not baggage. That means, see, there are so many exemptions on baggage. Why this is not included in baggage? I'll tell you the reason. There are so many exemptions in the baggage. For example, you can bring goods up to 1 lakh rupees, up to so and so amount, up to so and so things. Okay, so you can bring so many things in baggage and it is allowed. No one would ask you. But these things, if you bring, this is not baggage. That means in all the cases, import duty will be applicable. If you bring any motor vehicle, You have to pay the custom duty even if you bring it with you or without you. You have to pay the custom duty. If you bring alcoholic drink, you have to pay custom duty even if you bring in your baggage or without. Even if you bring anything with the courier, one day before or one day after, it will be not baggage. You have to pay import duty compulsorily. And anything which you import under import license, that is again definitely a normal import thing. That is not baggage. And that is why I'll give you one logic. You must have gone to many countries sometimes, or if you have heard about it, if you bring alcoholic drink in your bag, it will be checked. You have to throw it out. But after clearance of security, there are duty-free shops where you can purchase alcoholic drinks and you can bring them. So these are specifically exempt drinks. You cannot simply bring drinks from Dubai city. You can purchase it from Dubai airport after security clearance that are duty free, but you cannot simply bring alcoholic drinks from Dubai. So these are the simple differences why this is not included in baggage. Now, there are some prohibited goods. You can never bring in baggage. Narcotic drugs, exotic birds, wind arcades, wildlife, endangered species. Like you cannot bring tiger. You cannot bring tiger in your air in the airplane with you because it's an animal. It's allowed. No, you cannot bring tiger. It's an endangered species. Articles made from flora and fauna such as ivory musk, reptile skins, furs, shatooth or insects. So these are the things which are prohibited. You cannot bring. Now there are some restricted goods. That means you can bring them, but with some conditions. You have to fulfill the condition, then only you can bring. I'm not feeling well, so I'm just taking something. I apologize if you are thinking that I'm taking tea. It's not tea, it's something which I'm taking for my health. Now, there are some restricted goods which you can bring, but with some conditions. Foreign currency or Indian currency. You cannot simply take crores of rupees from India to foreign. No. You cannot simply bring crores of dollars from USA to India. No. There are certain rules that you can keep, say 20,000 rupees with you when you're leaving India, say 1 lakh rupees with you when you're leaving India to USA, or so and so amount of dollars you can bring or you can keep with you. So these are the rules under FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, so that you have to follow while bringing or taking currency with you. Domestic pets, you can definitely keep or bring or take goods out of India or within India, like dogs, cats, birds, etc. But health certificate has to be obtained that these are healthy. Uh, they won't bite anyone. They won't harm anyone. These are the things that the doctor have to certify. Then only you can bring the pets. So these are the restricted goods. Now, what is the procedure of baggage? That how the baggage is need to be handled. Yeah. So there are two channels to keep your baggage. One is green channel or one is red channel. So what is the green channel? If you pass through green channel with your baggage, that means you are declaring to custom authorities that there are no goods in baggage which requires custom duty to be paid. That means all goods are exempt from duty. So if you are passing through green channel and someone, any custom authority catches you carrying dutiable goods, you will be charged not just custom duty, but you have to pay the penalty as well. Because you are declaring to custom authorities there are no dutiable goods. Suppose you are carrying so many bottles of that wine, and you are passing through green channel, and someone catches you bringing so many uh, wine bottles, they will charge you with the tax as well as penalty. So that you have to keep in mind. All the passengers are normally required to go through green channel only. Only if you say that you are carrying some dutiable goods and you want to pay the tax, then only you are required to go through red channel. So you have to give declaration about goods purchased, that I have these goods which I want to pay the duty, and then you have to pay the duty on dutiable goods, and then only you can leave the airport or the port. And you may be inspected by the custom officer in that case. What is the rate of duty on baggage? 35% straight. So this is all about baggage. Now, if there are any questions, you can ask me. So there is a question. Suppose I want to take some plants of small size for dates from Saudi to India on baggage. Is it possible? So I would suggest you see, again, I'm not sure about this, whether this much is allowed or not, because I have just taught you general baggage rules. There are list of articles that you can carry. You can carry currency, Indian currency that much. You can carry US dollar that much. You can carry plants or not. You can carry this much, or this much. So all these things, there are certain rules that you have to follow. That there are certain limits that you have to follow. In general, I would say you can definitely bring these plants from Saudi to India. But what you have to see, baggage exemption rules, because in this course we are studying general or the basic rules only. We are not studying deep baggage rules. There are baggage rules are like 50-70 pages rules, that this is allowed, this is not allowed, this is allowed, this much is allowed, this is not allowed. So you have to read that list whether this is allowed or not. So I'm not sure whether this is allowed or not. I have to also check the list. You can simply Google it, you will get to know. Because it's a long rule and every single thing has separate exemption list, that maybe you can bring 2 plants, 5 plants or something like that. You cannot simply bring 1,000 plants, or maybe you cannot bring more than 5 plants. Anything can be the rule. So you have to check the specific rule for that. Any more questions? So what are the duty-free clearances? You can read rule 3 and 4 of baggage rules. Let me know. I'll answer. So there is one question कि सर एक बार बैगेज बता दो. So I would request please give me specific queries. If you simply ask me to repeat the entire things, that's of no use, and everyone has the access to the recordings. So I would suggest Miss Preeti, who has asked this question, to please refer to the recordings and study it again from there. And if there are any specific questions which you could not understood or which need to be explained more, I'll explain. Thank you. So, Mr. Abjal, I searched on the Google. I got the link. Generally, you cannot bring the plants into India. So the link I have messaged you privately that says that you need to obtain permission from Consulate General of India, Dubai, the local Indian Embassy of Dubai, before bringing any plants, fertilizers, animals, anything from Dubai. Where you need to take permission and which website would help you that also it's provided there. So in my opinion, you must take permission. You cannot simply bring the plants from Dubai. This is not allowed item. If you don't get your answer from there, you must have to search the website of embassies and the uh, respective state authorities, like Indian import and export authorities website, where some list would be there what you can import from Dubai. This is one list which I got somewhere in the internet.